If you came face to face with these creatures, you'd never make it out alive. Plain and simple. From 2,500-pound snakes that squash their prey by sheer force, to scorpions the size of dogs, sharks the size of whales, bloodthirsty mega-piranhas, and the real-life nightmare-inducing Kraken, our world has played host to some of the scariest, creepiest, biggest, and most dangerous animals imaginable. Luckily for us, these monsters are long extinct, so we can live to fight another day. At least, we think they're extinct. Keep one eye open as we dive into the terrifying former world of the animal kingdom. Our first demonic cab of the rank boasts the sinister combination of size, speed, and aggression. Yep, you know who we're talking about, the 60-foot-long former apex predator that terrified every other ocean dweller, none other than the frightening and powerful Megalodon. At 3 times the size of the modern great white, and with a bite strength of over 40,000 psi, rivaling that of the infamous T-Rex, there was no opponent too tough for Megalodon. As the largest shark ever to prowl the oceans, and one of the largest fish on record, this beast was capable of taking down any creature that was unlucky enough to find itself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Megalodon was a top-of-the-food-chain predator. Its 276 jagged teeth were the perfect weapon to feast on whales, dolphins, and even other sharks. Those teeth, by the way, were almost 200% larger than the fangs of a great white, which is why those kept in good condition can reach over $800 at auction. From the oceans to the warm, misty rainforests of South and Central America, the highly feared Titanoboa was the undisputed king of the jungle. When it thrived, some 60 million years ago, the prehistoric snake took no prisoners. Anything from rodents to deer, big cats, pigs, and even smaller snakes were on the menu. A human wouldn't stand a chance. Tilting the scales at 1.25 tons, close to 2,800 pounds, and growing up to nearly 50 feet long, this sinister serpent was not to be messed with. Like the modern boa constrictor, Titanoboa culled its prey by ruthless force, squashing it with its enormous weight and powerful squeeze. Despite roaming the Amazon for millennia, it took scientists until 2009 to find conclusive proof of its former existence, in the form of 28 fossilized vertebrae. Due to their location, submerged in the world's biggest open-pit coal mine, it was an expensive process, likely pushing the project towards hundreds of thousands of dollars. If it took us this long to find a set of fossils, many fearfully anticipate that we could make the million-dollar discovery and soon spot a living, breathing Titanoboa in the flesh. In the early 1900s, people claimed that they had serpents 30 feet and longer, and because of the Amazon's constant flash flooding and enormous size, it remains one of the few places in the world yet to be fully explored. As we fearfully hop, tail between our legs, back into the water for some reprieve, it's not long before our next petrifying animal emerges from the shadows. Measuring almost identically to the Titanoboa, the aptly named giant squid is a deep-sea behemoth, gliding around beneath the surface in the ocean's so-called twilight zone, just beyond the reach of sunlight at depths between 1,000 feet and about 2,000 feet. While the giant squid still stalks out waters, its legendary ancestor, the fantastical, foreboding Kraken, is considered one of the most violent sea monsters in history. A long list of Nordic tales declare that some versions of the Kraken were up to 100 feet long, and that it would deliberately capsize commuter and pirate ships, particularly around Norway and Greenland, with at least 3 documented occasions of giant squid attacks in the 1930s. It was said that if the Kraken didn't pull you down directly into the water, then the whirlpool that formed as a result of its enormous size would finish the job. If there's any creature with a more severe reputation than the Kraken, it's one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived, the ferocious, vicious, bloodthirsty, unforgiving Tyrannosaurus rex. Its 4-foot-long jaw was strong enough to crush bone, while its strong thighs and powerful tail, which counterbalanced its enormous head, helped it reach a maximum running speed of 25 miles per hour. These features, combined with an unnatural aggression, allowed the T-Rex to reign supreme during the late Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago. As one of the world's most famed and feared ancient creatures, its fossils bring in a substantial amount of cash. The most expensive dinosaur fossil ever discovered, worth an astounding $8.362 million, was a T-Rex that was given the nickname Sue, after its discoverer, Sue Hendrickson, who found the fossil back in 1990. If you were to stumble across one of these beasts alive in the wild, it would rewrite history, force scientists to rethink the global food chain, and send the human population into a frenzy. And credited with its discovery, you'd be more rich than you could ever imagine. The T-Rex was sizable, no doubt, but exceeding even the great stubby-armed T-Rex is one of the weirdest dinosaurs ever documented, the Spinosaurus. Measuring 50 feet long and weighing a colossal 7 tons, the Spinosaurus blended the powerful snout of a crocodile with the swimming ability of a shark and the immense size of a Kijianglong. Thanks to its bulky body, it was capable of causing a heck of a lot of damage. Recent fossil evidence shows Spinosaurus was the first dinosaur that was able to swim, and likely spent most of its life in the water. See that giant sail on its back? While there's still some uncertainty as to its primary use, it's been considered a swimming enhancer, a heat shield, and a means of warding off enemies. While its size is intimidating, its attitude wasn't as aggressive as some other carnivorous dinosaurs. Its teeth were sharp, but not serrated, suggesting it would have likely survived on fish and sharks that swam through in the dinosaur's river habitat. The Spinosaurus wasn't the only menacing prehistoric creature who called our ancient rivers home. Allow us to introduce you to the Mosasaur. While not technically a dinosaur, actually a reptile more closely related to snakes and lizards, the Mosasaur was a goosebump-inducing sight nonetheless. These guys went extinct toward the end of the Cretaceous period around 66 million years ago, and that's probably a good thing, because if they were slithering around urban waters in 2020, the panic, chaos, and damage would be insurmountable. They could capsize $100 million yachts, take out billion-dollar bridges by ramming into the foundations, and pose a serious threat to human life. The largest remains of Mosasaurus put estimates of its length at a seriously scary 59 feet, which matches that of Megalodon. With a shark-like tail, it would have been a slick and fast swimmer, and thanks to its flexible skull and snake-like double-hinged jaw, anything and everything was on the menu. It's no surprise that Mosasaur was widely considered one of the most damaging predators to have ever called our oceans home. Far more recently, during the Miocene period, some 8 million years ago, the world witnessed yet another catastrophic creature, the giant crocodile officially known as the Purosaurus. This menacing croc sat near the top of the South American and Amazonian food chain. With a max size of 42 feet, plus an astounding weight of around 18,000 pounds, this monster seldom lost a fight. Its powerful jaws and sharp teeth were enough to take down any visitor, and that's no joke. With a sustained bite force of 15,500 psi, which is more than 20 times more powerful than a modern-day lion, it's easy to see how this super croc thrived. Can you imagine if the Purosaurus still roamed our Earth today? They'd send even the bravest souls running for the hills. Imagine if they infiltrated cities like New York through the sewer system. A high-functioning economy would be turned on its head in an instant, with its residents afraid to leave their houses. Thankfully, we don't expect to be greeting the Purosaurus anytime soon. Back when the Purosaurus roamed free, another Miocene-era predator was swimming through our oceans, terrorizing anything that came within striking distance. If you've seen any B-grade horror film, you'll be well versed in the aggressive nature of the piranha. More than 60 ferocious species of the razor-toothed carnivorous fish currently call the South American rivers and lakes home. The solace is that they're not that big. The standard length of most piranha species in the wild is just 11 inches, or 28 centimeters. If we wind the clock back 8 million years though, the gnarly piranha ancestor awaits. It's known appropriately as the mega-piranha, and we're about to show you exactly why. The ancient mega-piranha is estimated to have been over 3 feet long, boasting a bite force of up to 1,050 psi. If we compare that pound for pound, it's almost equivalent to the chomp of a grizzly bear. Thankfully, these guys are now well and truly extinct. We need only to travel to the deserts of the Middle East to find the alarming deathstalker scorpion. Combining an aggressive nature and one of the most toxic venoms of its kind, trust us, you don't want to mess with one of these bad boys. The silver lining is that these critters are small and relatively easy to get away from. If you came face to face with its long extinct ancestor, on the other hand, then escape would be futile. Folks, cast your eye toward the Pulmonaryscorpius. Capable of growing up to 28 inches or 70 centimeters long, this Carboniferous period arachnid has nightmare written all over it. Just take a look at this comparison with a fully grown man, and yep, we'd be petrified too. If you'd found one alive today and managed to survive the encounter, you'd find yourself pretty darn rich. With a powerful venom, the discovery of a live Pulmonaryscorpius could pave the way for new anti-venom compositions and create a more robust medical treatment. We don't even know what to call this thing, but it's friggin' scary, that's for sure. Is it a shrimp? A fish? An unreleased Pokemon? Whatever it is, it lived in the Cambrian period over 500 million years ago. Even though this thing was dubbed Anomalocaris way back in 1892, scientists were clueless of its true identity until the late 20th century. These days, Anomalocaris is often considered a proto-arthropod, meaning that it's somewhat related to crabs, but with its own unique flair. Because of its spiked mouth, grasping arms, extraordinary vision, and size of over 3 feet in length, analysts believe that this unsettling swimmer was a powerful hunter, perhaps the largest hunter of its time. There are still more questions than answers for this guy, so if you ever spot one lurking in your backyard pool, you can be sure that the scientific community will pay big bucks. Considering all the terrifying animals we've seen today, which one do you think would wreak the most havoc if they were still alive today? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a great day. Catch you next time.